Hey, good days, ladies and gentlemen. So the purpose of this video is mainly to give a GitHub crash course to those in need who never used GitHub before and like to use GitHub for their projects. So there's quite a lot to cover, but this video, particularly just this video itself, is just going to cover how to get started, including downloading the required stuff, setting up your account, and also like just to go through some good practices on how to use GitHub. So as you can see here, let's just begin. First of all, you need to download download Git. So if you're using Windows, go to this website and just click on downloads. If you're using MacBook, you need to go to Homebrew on your computer and perform something like a command prompt command, brew install Git. And with that, you should have your Git downloaded for the next step. Now for the second thing, right, you need to create a GitHub. That's like what I'm seeing, what I have here, right? Let's just highlight this first. You need to create a GitHub with a proper email account. So for me, this is my second account. The email that I'm using is else.work, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, basically this email of mine. I'm using this email. So yep, do that. And once you have done this, alright, okay, you can pause the video if you haven't done, but just do that. Now the third thing, this will be a bit trickier, so I'll slow down a bit. Once you have your Git downloaded and once you have your GitHub account up, alright, what you need to do right now is to create a SSH key. So for context, SSH stands for Secure Shell, which is basically one of the safest methods to I would say transfer data. So instead of using the website to download data, we're going to use Secure Shell, which is actually the best practices in company work. So when you go to your command prompt, okay, I'm just going to open my File Explorer as well, just to be in sync. Okay, users else-zh. Okay, you need to run this command right here, ssh-keygen-t ed25519. Don't ask me what this is. It works, so we just use that. Okay, so we run this, and if this is your first time creating a key, you can just click enter 3 times. But for me, because I already have a key before, so for the sake of this video, let me just check, give a look first. Yep. For the sake of this video, I'm gonna name my key as test, okay? And the passphrase, you can set anything you like, or you can set it as empty as well. But just want to put it out here. Once you have saved your password and you've forgotten your password, there's no way you can get your password back or get your account back. You have to delete the whole thing. You need to create a new one. And probably all the access to your previous keys are all lost. So just be mindful. I'm not gonna put any password, so that's how it is. Okay. Once you have created your key, SSH key, secure shell key, you can find it in the directory you save. So it's user else-zh. You see this too? Okay. So for the sake of convenience, I'm gonna put them under my SSH folder, my first key. Okay. So you see here, there's actually 2 files, right? The one that's blank, or rather, the one that just literally just tests, it's a normal file. This is your private key. Okay, PRI, private key. The one with a pub extension, you can see here, .pub is your public key. Then no matter what you do, you should never share your private key nor your public key with other people. But considering this is a test demonstration, and I'm gonna delete these files anyway, I'm just gonna demo one time what to do next. So once you have created SSH key, you located the SSH key in this directory, usually your username. Alright, the next thing you want to do is open your .pub key in node editor. Just want to say highlight this part is because that, oops, it's because you can't just directly open this. This will return an error because Microsoft Publisher don't really open this file. So what you need to do is to open with Notepad, and you can see the content of it. Now this whole thing here, you copy that, okay, sorry, yeah, you copy your public key, just this thing, right? And you go on to your GitHub, and you open settings. Where's my settings? Okay, settings. You see this SSH and GPG keys. Yep, you click on new SSH key. The title can be anything you want to use. For me, I'll just use like admin test, okay? And you paste the thing here, just whoop, Control V, and you add an SSH key. Then you're done, okay? Then you have your SSH key. With this done, right, you can actually start using GitHub already. So let me just type it down here, open SSH key, copy, oops, copy the content, okay. Then next step is, okay, go to GitHub, settings, and then SSH and GPG keys, right? Then new SSH key, okay. Then enter any title. Number 2 is paste the content in the key. There you go. Okay, so we have our SSH key, secure shell key in our GitHub now. Let's move on to the important part. So let's say that I created this else work test right here. Alright, and I'd like to, okay, hold on. Before that, let me just say that I actually am not using this. I'll be using my first two keys just to demonstrate something for you all. Okay, so right now, there's actually one more thing to do, which is actually to set up your username and your email in the command prompt. So for me, right, I've already set up my username. So what's the command? Oh yeah, GitHub config global user.name. Oops. Oh yeah, sorry, need to cd into git local first. Yeah, git local. So git local is where I'm working on my stuff. So let's run that command again. What? That's weird. Oh yeah, sorry. Git config, not GitHub config user.name. Yeah, so this is my username and this is my email. But for those of you who haven't set up an email yet or your username yet, this is the command to do it. It's the same thing, but the only thing different is that you need to add the thing behind. For example, let's say okay, I want to change the username. So git config global username. I want to call this change name. Okay, now let's see what's the name now. Change name, right? So you want to do this username, your name, you need to run this once, and then you need to set your email to the something at example.com. Okay, you need to run these two syntax in your command prompt, and I'll copy this for y'all. Okay, and git config global, this 2 dash by the way, user dot name something. Remember, it's a double quote here. Okay, so there you have it. But for the sake of not confusing myself, I'm gonna put back my name there, idea pad. Okay, just to check, username is this, email is this. All right, solid. Okay, now why is this step very important? I'm just gonna show you now. So as you can see here, I'm using ls.journaling@gmail.com, and right now I would like to copy this private repo onto my computer. So what I would do is that, first of all, I have a directory called git local, which is a folder specifically for GitHub works. Now this is very important. I'm gonna tell you why later. It's because that you wouldn't want to mix your GitHub works folders along with any other projects. There's a reason for that. It's because just sort of understand that it's a different kind of working method in this folder compared to the rest of your computer, and you want to keep all that just inside this folder. So once I'm in git local, the first thing you want to do, if you're first using GitHub for the first time, you want to do a git init. What this does is that, oops, let me see. Yep, there's a .git folder up here, means that this folder has been initialized to perform GitHub functions, if that makes sense. It's a hidden folder. You need to click onto the hidden, check hidden items to see that. Okay, so let's say I want to clone this test repo. Let's say this repo contains all our work for our project. So you want to go to a code, and this clone here, you see that there's actually 3. Right, 1, 2, 3 methods. The one I'm going to use is SSH because we have a SSH key now, right? Secure shell. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go to the folder and do git clone and paste this. And let me tell you, this will reply an error because you have no access rights. So the reason that this email is important is because that it will be used to check whether you have the permission to enter this code. So for example, I would like to invite myself in. So I need to collaborators, I need to add people. So ls.journaling@gmail.com. Okay, what does it say? Awaiting, so I need to go and accept myself first. Give me a moment. Okay, accept invitation. So right now, my else.journaling has been added to that. Let's give it a shot and see does it work or not. Okay, yeah, it's still the same. Else work test git. So I go back to the project, the code, copy this, I paste here, git clone, paste that thing in. There you go. I am able to add in the folder into my from the remote. Remote refers to the things on the web. I was able to clone the remote repo onto my local repo. So if I go to my git local here, there's this thing called test, and I can actually start working on things inside. So if I cd test, I can literally start creating folders, whatever, new Excel file, CSV file, code file, Python file, Jupyter Notebook file, whatever not, you can start working on that already. So yep, create a local file. Yeah, the email is here. Create a git local file. Run git init. Yeah, sorry, I didn't run. Okay, yeah, one by one. CD, go into your Git local file folder. CD, Git local. And then you do Git init. Alright, and then after that, once it's initialized, okay, this is the fun part. Go to any remote repo on GitHub that you have access to. Click on the green button code, then SSH, and copy the link, copy the URL. It will look something like this. Yeah, it will look something like this. Maybe I hide a different color. Okay. Alright, then go to your command prompt. Make sure in git local run this code. Git clone. Yeah, basically the whole thing here lah. Or anything you copy. And then you will have your first remote repo clone into your local machine. So there you go. First video.